Hi everybody, Quint Kessenich for Inside Lacrosse. February synonymous with Valentine's Day, and here's what I have loved about some February moments. Great weather and great action across the board. We started things off in an exciting fashion with Virginia coming to Loyola in Baltimore and getting a 1-goal win for new coach Lars Tiffany. Cleveland State, the Vikings, they open play as the 71st team in Division I. They take a loss at home to Michigan, but that was quite a celebration of the sport in the state of Ohio. Who could ever forget Joel Tinney, the hidden ball trick against Navy, then 2 weeks later, the fake flip against Loyola in front of 5,000 fans. Hopkins is rolling early. Denver, in front of a sellout crowd, takes down the Duke Blue Devils, and then Syracuse, up in the Dome, down 6-1. They rally with a dramatic last-second goal from Nick Mariano. February has been a memorable month. A strong storyline so far in 2017, the tremendous success of this freshman class. I don't think I can remember a year where guys came into lineups of primetime teams and were such heavy contributors right away. Dox Aiken, one of the highest recruits in the country for Virginia. His outside shot is just, looks like a senior. I mean, the power and speed that he's able to put on the ball, he has had success right off the bat. Jackson Morrill, Ben Reeves gets hurt at Yale. Jackson Morrill comes in and scores 5 goals as a wing shooter. He's a guy who understands spacing. He's really smart. He plays to his strengths. A good start for Morrill. Ethan Walker at Denver. I think Ethan Walker, when this is all said and done, will be the leading point getter in this freshman class, playing alongside Connor Cannizzaro and a Pioneers offense. He can roam the slot area. He's a terrific magician of a finisher, and I like what I'm seeing from him. Defensively, Jack Rapine at Johns Hopkins. You have injuries and you have Foley not playing, and all of a sudden Rapine's a starter. Well, he has held his own so far. Big matchups for him coming up down the road as Hopkins eventually has to face teams like Maryland and Virginia. Jared Bernhardt, speaking of the Terps, Jared Bernhardt, in my eyes, is the most talented freshman in the country. He's running first midfield right now for the Terps, and he was the MVP of the under-19 games. Next year, my guess is he's going to be the quarterback, the ex-attackman behind the goal. This is a guy who's got the athleticism of a midfielder and the skill set of an attackman. Jared Bernhardt was a triple option quarterback down at Lake Brantley. He was looking at maybe playing option quarterback for Navy or Georgia Tech. He's a Terp now, and Maryland rejoice because this is the type of player that can get that program over the top and garner a national championship for the first time since 1975. Justin Anderson of North Carolina. He's not your typical freshman because he's a lot older, but he has made an immediate impact. And Mac O'Keefe, Penn State scoring goals, nearly 20 a game, and Mac O'Keefe out of Syosset, New York, is one of the reasons why. This kid is a tremendous intermediate range shooter. He's really slippery and creative. He's got a background in the indoor game. 2017 freshman class off to a hot start. This is certainly worth following now as February morphs into March. Our last category, charismatic long poles. I think this year nationally, there's a bunch, it's about a half a dozen guys who are A, fun to watch, B, very talented off the ground, offensive threats, and kind of they go back in that old school mentality of actually throwing checks on defense. John Sexton from Notre Dame really caught my eye last week when I covered Notre Dame Georgetown. This kid is a playmaker all over the field. He's got magic in the wand in terms of scooping up grounders and initiating transition. Matt Neufeld of Maryland, he's back in the lineup now. Missed last year with a knee injury. Bat-like radar on loose balls. I don't know how he does it, but the ball just magnetizes to his stick. Larkin Kemp, talked about him many times. He is a prime-time offensive threat for Brown. Think about scoring 15 seconds or less off a face-off. That's Larkin Kemp's job. Matt Reese at Navy is another who's just got magical abilities to knock down passes in the passing lane and then trigger transition. And the last would be Connor Keating, a player that we don't get to see very often on national TV, but Keating last season put up huge numbers in terms of offensive production. He too, a creative genius in the middle of the field. And I think this all stems back to club lacrosse. The amount of games these guys are playing during the summers and a lot of unstructured play at high school really fosters itself to developing their skills, their freelance skills, their creativity skills. And the one thing you can say that these guys are fun to watch. A great year for charismatic long poles. Hopefully, you enjoyed what you just watched, and our momentum as a sport will carry from February to March. If you like what you're seeing, check out our podcast. Terry Foy and I do a podcast that launches on Fridays. You also can read my poll every Monday on InsideLacrosse.com, where I take a look at number 1 through 20.